Hey, I'm Tesla, and today I'll be sharing my wish list. It is not everything that I am aiming to buy in 2023 at all. It's basically just like a huge brain dump of things that have come up on my mind from time to time. So I figured I would get them on paper for a couple of reasons. If you don't care why, then just use the timestamps in the description to skip around. If you hear my dog barking in the background, I'm sorry. It's really hard to film around him. Okay. So the number one reason is that I never remember the things that I want until I see them, and then I buy them on the spot because otherwise I just won't get around to it. It's kind of like how babies don't have object permanence. Like if they don't see it, they forget it exists when it's not in front of them. And I feel like that sometimes, like for example, every single day for at least twice a day, I would go through my front door having to manually lock the door, and I really hated that. But it wasn't until that exact moment of when I was like opening and locking it that I ever thought about how I needed an automatic lock system. And then as soon as I was inside or outside of the house, like I would completely forget about that. And that happened every single day for 2 years. Until one day I was just at Home Depot and then I saw one of those keypad door openers and I bought it, and it completely changed my life for the better. Now, every time I leave my house, every single day, I just notice a positive difference, way more convenient. But anyway, my point is like if I don't have a list to remind myself of the things that bother me, I will like never end up fixing them. The second reason is I have a really hard time motivating myself to keep habits and routines, and something that you can do is give yourself a reward for reaching like a milestone in that habit building journey. And it doesn't always have to be, buying yourself something. It can be just like letting yourself binge TV for a couple of hours, or like making sure you schedule in a beach day or something. But it would be nice to have something to reference, because sometimes when there is something to celebrate, I don't know what to do. So I normally just go out to eat, which is, fine. But it would be cool to like maybe reward myself with more impactful things. Like for example, I didn't celebrate reaching any of my 2022 goals, but it's like, why not? Why not have something where I can look at a list and look at things to look forward to if I do the things that I want to accomplish. Lastly, I think it will make me like more grateful and more reflective, because if I happen to get a lot of these wish list items and scratch them off, then it's a reminder that I do have like a good life balance. And my dog has the zoomies downstairs. But it puts off the feeling of like, oh, I never get what I want, like that kind of whiny voice in the back of your head you can get sometimes. So it's like, it's kind of a tangible way to prove to myself that that is not true, but that I'm actually very blessed to get things that I want fairly often. Oh, and then at the end of the year, then I can think back and say, okay, well, I bought this thing that I wanted. Did it actually make the difference that I thought it would make? Was it actually worth it? And so yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. I'll start off with my tech wish list. I have been talking about this on this channel since at least January of last year and thinking about it for way longer, but I think this is the year. Okay. I read somewhere that only happy, healthy dogs get zoomies, so I think that's good. I think this is the year where I can finally get a desktop and 2 monitors. I think it would improve my work from home life significantly. I saw a really pretty computer set at Micro Center for like almost $4,000, so I'm probably just gonna do like a really small custom build to save money. On top of my professional life, it would be nice if I could get back into video games. I shouldn't say get back into, because I was never that into them, but like I did play like League of Legends for a time in high school, and like I wouldn't play that again, I don't think. But I would like to like just open myself up to the world of games, which I can't do on my current laptop. Next is a much more affordable item. I want to buy a phone holder for my car. I get lost all the time and I don't go anywhere without using my GPS, but it's really annoying to like try to fiddle with my phone and open it and look down at the maps, or even just change the music, because my car doesn't have one of those like screen thingies. So I think that would definitely improve my life for like less than $30. Another affordable item would be a shower speaker. So every single day I think about how nice it would be to hear my music clearly without blowing out my phone speakers on the other side of the room. And then when I take like longer showers, I'll want to put on an audiobook, but it just never works out over the sound of the water and everything. So Yeah, I think, again, for like less than 30 bucks, that could make a daily difference. And you know what else would be good for my shower is like a stool to like shave my legs and sit down. That'd be easier. Next, I don't know if a telescope technically counts as a piece of tech, but I would like one. My dad and I used to look out at the stars when I was little and make up funny stories about aliens, and it would be nice to do that again, even if it's just doing it on my own. I'm not thinking anything super high tech. And I feel like I've seen them for like $75, so I think that's doable. Something that is not feeling so doable would be like an iPad. They are expensive, but I feel like it would be better for reading, for planning stuff, for recording my screen, and like it's easier to move around than a laptop. So I don't know if it's as much value as a computer or a laptop though, like probably definitely not. So I may not ever do it, but it does cross my mind like occasionally, and it would be nice if I would just happen to come across one. On to the appearances category, which I could always use my help with. I have wanted a capsule wardrobe since probably my sophomore year of college, but I have just never evolved past wearing pajamas. Like I wear a robe when I work from home. I wear this onesie almost every single weekend, or another onesie, even when I'm doing errands. And then at work the other day, there's no dress code, so I wore a pajama top to work. And like I would like outfits that are more representative of my taste and where I'm at in my life now, but nothing fits me anymore after COVID, and all my current clothes are from high school and falling apart. I get overwhelmed in stores. It's hard for me to put outfits together. It's not my strong suit, trying to figure out like what shapes look good and what colors look good. And my Pinterest board is totally full, but my closet is empty. And I've read magazine articles, I've watched a lot of YouTube. I think years ago I even bought a workbook, but it's never come to me. So I'm not focusing on that this year. I'm focusing on furniture this year. Maybe clothes can be next year, but hopefully this year I can at least get some short rain boots. I hate soaking my Converse every time it rains, and so I think I could get rain boots for like probably $50 or less. Another appearance thing that's kind of more of an experience is getting one of those color evaluations. I don't know if you've seen the videos, but they drape a bunch of fabric over you and they tell you what shades complement you and what you should focus on wearing, and even like what lipstick and hair color you should have. And I've looked in my area, I think it's between like $100 and $200, which I can't justify right now, maybe not for a while, but that like could be helpful. It would be an interesting video, like at the least. Another type of appointment in the same vein is to do a professional scalp cleaning. There's this young woman on YouTube who just tries different spa treatments, and she posts like long ASMR videos of them, and I've been enticed. I want to do all those things. And if I had more money, I would do regular facials. If I had a lot of money, I would try all the spas. One thing I don't know if I've mentioned is that I am a model for laser hair removal. However, it's very hard to get an appointment because there are a lot of models, and students have appointments during work days because they're at school, and I work during the work days. So appointments are few and far between, and they're so infrequent, it's not making much of a difference. And it's also tricky because every student is different, and they're not always like very thorough. And I don't want to put thousands towards paying for it right now, but like if I were to pay for it, the scheduling and the quality would be, more guaranteed. Lastly, I think I would want to get down a good hair routine, preferably with products that are ethically made, like, shampoo and conditioner bars. I experimented in the last year with some different products, kind of backfired. I'm ready to move on from that. I would also be down to dye my hair, because right now my hair looks like basically like black, and it's not a good color for me. I usually do like browns, like lighter browns, or maybe even darker auburns, which is hard to keep up with when it's red. But yeah, something needs to change with my hair. I don't know what those products are exactly. My wish list is to have good hair. I've also heard that silk pillows are good for that. So we can go ahead and just add that to my wish list. And then I've talked about this one before several times, is that I would like lip injections. Couldn't hurt to have like fuller lips. Not this year, but like someday between the next 2 years, I'm sure I can put away $2,000 for that, and then hopefully keep up with the upkeep. But that's it for the vanity portion of the video. You know, at the time of filming this, I have no idea what I'm going to show you. I don't know if I'm going to put images on the screen. I don't know if I'm going to do a Google Sheet, a Notion dashboard. Like, I don't know what I'm going to actually show to you. But this section is going to be chock full because I have mentioned I want to turn my house into a home, and that comes with a lot of things on my wish list. Again, not all of them necessarily achievable or even necessary because this is not my forever home where I'm currently at. For starters, I would like a new front door. So when my house got renovated, the workers fucked up painting my door and it has a lot of flaws and I want a new one, but they are not cheap, especially when they come with like decorative glass windows, and I don't know that a door would really like up the value of my house, so I don't think I'll ever jump on this one, but it is on my like wish list. For furniture, just give me everything from West Elm, room and board, Pottery Barn. I have a vision board, but it's like way past $1,000 I'm saving up this year. So I'm gonna swing by the dumpsters and consignment stores of rich people neighborhoods and hopefully get like kind of close. I need couches and chairs for my living room. So one thing about my living room and having 2 stories is it doesn't really heat evenly for me. I have really high ceilings and the circulation is terrible. If it's cold in the winter, my living room is so cold because there's only one vent to circulate the whole thing. And it's not a large space, but hot air rises, and so I don't know if it's doable or worth it. But in my perfect world, I would add 2 more vents, so that way my living room could at least be half the temperature of my other rooms when the heater is on. I don't know what it costs to do that. I don't know how hard it is. But if I stay here for more than 5 years, I will consider it more deeply, but realistically, I'll probably just have to budget for space heaters. And then in my living room, I want a custom bookcase under the stairs. I don't know if I have to hire a carpenter or just like do an IKEA hack, but I would just love something to cozily fit there and have a designated place for all my books. Right now they are on the fireplace mantle, but I would like to have something different and more minimalist looking there. I also need a dining table set, and I also chose a hideous dining table light when I first moved here, and I hated it as soon as it was installed, and then I just never switched it out, and I don't want to buy a new light without seeing the whole room together because I've learned my lesson. Going from my dining room to my front patio, you can see the patio from my dining room because there's a sliding glass door that takes you out there, and it's hideous, but I'm cleaning it up this month. But I would love to replace those sliding glass doors with French doors. I got an estimate for like $7,000, so like again, that's just pie in the sky, but it's on my mind. And then I would like to do all the brick out there and line it with trellises and flowers and have plants in the planters, although this might be a bad idea, but I want to put fake plants in my planters. I've spent hundreds on flowers and plants in the past and they die every year and then it just turns into dirt, and so yeah, maybe fake flowers, patio furniture, maybe a grill. If we're on that path, why don't we just also add a man to my wish list, someone who knows how to use that grill, if we're just dreaming here. Speaking of patios, I would also like to completely redo my back patio. So it's mainly all concrete, and then there are like 2 grass patches where Chip gets to do his business. And of course that grass always dies because dog poop is not the fertilizer you think it is. But I'd also like to repaint my back patio walls, add more grass, get rid of all that concrete. I would also get down with worm composting back there. I don't know how that would work at all, but I bought a composter in the past and then never used it. Not one with worms, but just like a rotating one. And I couldn't really figure out the correct ratios, so I gave up. But I would be willing to start that again. Moving upstairs, I would like to redo my office loft where I am at now. I would like to make it more productive and then also add just like a little chair, like as a cozy reading nook. I don't know why I said moving upstairs because my informal living room is downstairs. I want to make that space in the back next to my kitchen a entertainment area with like couches that you can nap on. It has cup holders, good speakers, and then I want my bedroom to be a sanctuary. I need a new mattress, maybe even a king bed. I don't want a TV in my bedroom anymore, so that's why I just want to have my own designated media rooms. That way my brain switches off in my bedroom. I could move my TV right now, but it would just be sitting on the floor because I have nowhere else to put it. And then I don't have any chairs, so I'd be sitting on the floor watching TV. I guess that's one way to encourage me to read more, is by not having a comfortable TV spot. Going back to my bedroom, I also would like to redo my closet. Maybe I'll insert a picture here, but it makes no sense the way it's laid out. There are hanging rods in weird, unreachable positions. There's one space with no rods. It's just an empty block of space. So I've got nowhere to put my folded clothes, and like, it's just kind of a mess. There are certain aspects of my house that are just kind of a mess. One thing that I've been avoiding in my bedroom since 2020 for basically no reason is blackout curtains. A lot of light comes through my bedroom, even at night, because there are light posts behind the house. And every morning and every night, I think about how nice it would be if it could just be dark and improve my sleep. And it's not hard to buy curtains and curtain rods. It's probably pretty affordable. So let's say by April of this year, I'm gonna improve my sleep, get those curtain rods, move my TV out of my room. On top of my bedroom, I want a respectable guest bedroom. And sometimes my room gets too messy and I can't handle it, to be honest, and I need to pretend it doesn't exist. So I would also like to rely on the guest bedroom occasionally for that. But I also just want regular decorations for the whole house: pictures, paintings, framed poetry, fake plants. If this were my forever home, I would probably do solar panels, a smart thermostat, water softener system because the water in Texas is awful. I need something to organize my keys and stuff, like in an entryway. I would probably also get an organizer to like hang up my mop and my broom, because honestly, whenever I'm done cleaning an area, I just leave my mop and broom on the floor of wherever I left it, like just cleaned. And that's not a good habit, and they need a place to live, because then I never know where my stuff is. And I am not messy and disorganized as much when I have a roommate, because I don't want to be disrespectful, but when it's just me, I live like an animal. And if I had to choose between hiring housekeepers every month versus paying for therapy every month, I would rather pay for housekeepers, but I have to think what's going to be more beneficial long term. And there's probably other things on this laundry list of stuff. I mean, one day, of course, I don't even want to live here anymore. I want to live in a better area with a proper backyard for my dogs. And then that way I could also get a second dog. Chip really could use a friend. And now that I'm thinking about it, this wasn't on my list originally. Now that I'm looking at it, the window in front of my desk. One thing I've wanted for him is a custom build dog bed. So Chip loves to look out the window, but the window in the living room doesn't give him very much coverage. So I figure if he could be in the loft, there could be like a staircase leading up to a giant bed, the length of the window upstairs, and then he could get a full street view. Probably he'd bark even more if he could see even more, but I just think he'd enjoy it, Oh, okay, another thing. I would totally get Chip training lessons. So I did Petco training lessons right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit and they told me, and I paid in full and everything for like 2 levels of classes. And they told me, we're gonna call you when it picks back up, don't worry about it. And then they never did, so I never knew if the classes were continuing. And then at that point, I just let it go. He did pass level 1 class before the pandemic. I had a certificate. Maybe I have a picture. But honestly, I'll take responsibility. I didn't stay on him with the training. He's such a spoiled brat. He can't sit. He can't stay still. Well, he could sit, but he doesn't want to. And if I were to pay for training again, I wouldn't make me the responsible one. I would drop his ass off with a professional and have him come home perfect. He's already perfect, but just slightly less sassy. And I get it because he's like a little chihuahua. I like some of that sass, but not as much. I think that's everything related to Chip. I thought I had a really long list, but this has gone by kind of quickly. So the last section is a wish list that would further my education. So I would eventually like to make more money and get better at my job. I think I'm pretty good at it as I am now, but a master's degree could help with that endeavor. So if I don't see myself progressing to a higher pay within 2 years, I think I would pursue that. I also would want to learn Excel. I think it would be cool to make my own custom sheets and get exactly what I want out of whatever I'm doing. And it's also better for a professional standpoint as well. I haven't looked into the prices of those Excel courses yet, but if they're under $100, I probably will do that this year. And then one thing that I won't do this year, but I could start looking into, is possibly owning an investment property or purchasing a small business, like learning about that kind of venture. Probably I'll just read a bunch of books about it, but I wouldn't be opposed to like a few business courses or something down the line once I have more of a cash cushion and can feel comfortable. And that would be like a way long-term goal, because no one in my family can give me guidance on that sort of thing. I'd just be on my own, which is like really scary. So yeah, that start learning about it within the next year, but not go after it for probably several years. Something that I need to invest in, I tried Duolingo. That was a bust. Duolingo was not good, but I need to learn Spanish fluently. I am the only one in my family who doesn't, I think, and it's embarrassing, and I want to connect with my culture and my family in that way. And if I get to travel more or move countries, it would be more helpful and enriching. You know, this took me a while to compile this list, because when I first sat down to write my wish list, it had 2 things on it, and then I would just add to it every single day for like 2 weeks, because even if it's something I think of every single day, like I don't remember until something actually triggers it. But yeah, I think that's pretty comprehensive. I saw a quote the other day that the less you want, the richer you are. So considering the amount of things I want, like by those terms, I'm like kind of destitute. I'm not going to get everything I want. I don't think it's healthy for everyone to get everything that they want, but it is good to like at least know what you want, you know? Anyway, let me know what is on your wish list, whether it's for 2023 or just maybe for never. Maybe we're just dreaming big. So, bye.